Do you feel like you have trust issues? Do you feel like you're very you draw sort of a barrier?
I do have is it, I don't know why I say trust issues lah, but I know my boundaries, I guess, like of who I should really trust or not. Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Clean Your Toilet podcast. My name is Andee. I go by he, him pronounce. By day, I am a cultural experience and DI professional at a tech company. And by night, also kind of like weekend morning, I am the founder of OFFFORM, which is a social run club in Singapore. And today we have a guest with us. Ben, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Yes. Hi, Andy. So, hi guys. My name is Ben. I'm better known as the Smiling Afro. You may have seen me around. I'm a full-time content creator and I also do hosting and acting. Basically, in the media space, always just looking for laughs. So,
Okay.
hey, yeah.
So the theme for this season is centered around shadows of a relationship. We often focus on what is light and bright. However, when there is light, there will be shadows as well. As the saying goes, all the beauty of life is made up of light and shadows. Okay, so maybe let's get into it. Let's start exploring some of the questions that I have here.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
Maybe the first thing, the question around the word shadow and the idea around shadow.
Yeah.
How do you correlate with that word? What are some of the feelings that come up from that word when you think of shadows?
Wow, it's so deep actually, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think just thinking about how we use it in the English language, like, sometimes people say, hey, you are a shadow of your former self. And then it hits you. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like I'm not myself anymore. I'm just a shadow.
Yeah.
Like what now I'm just a different person or people say, hey, to shadow someone. Right. But I guess for me, if you talk about relationships, right, I think shadow to me would be like being present. Yeah, just being present in someone's life. Yeah, I think that's for me like what I shadow would mean to me. Like if there's no shadow means the person is not present.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
like not there. It's like ouch. Yeah.
When I think about shadow, so my brain works in this way. I like to reframe things in a very positive way.
Nice.
So when I first heard of the word shadow, I was like, oh, isn't that a great thing? Which means there's sun. Only, you see your shadow, see that reflection when there is sunlight, right?
And you only can see it with light.
Yeah.
That means there's light.
Yeah. So that's what I thought, that's it's a positive thing. But then also at the same time, I think shadow is actually quite a dark reflection of you. And I often, somehow I think that there are certain parts where it's, when I read up more about shadows and how it means in psychology is a part of you that you want to hide away from others.
Fair.
Or maybe sometimes even hide away from yourself.
Fair.
How does that ring a bell to you?
Yeah, I guess that's a theme of shadow, right? It's just a silhouette. There's no color, nothing. It's just a shape of you, but just the dark side, the hidden part, I guess, right? You want to hide it in the shadow because people can't see.
Yeah.
It's you, but they just can't see anything, right? So I guess, yeah, you put it that way.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really curious about you as a person.
Yeah.
Your Instagram is Smiling
The Smiling Afro, yes.
But are you always smiling?
Oh, great question.
Are you
Great question.
because we see all the positive
Yes.
side on social media about you, very a lot of comedy, a lot of humor. But who are you? Who's the real Ben?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great question. And I actually always make it clear to people that no, I'm not always smiling. And I'm a very strong believer of yin-yang. And balance of life. Like I remember as a young kid when I first read about yin yang, discovered yin yang, right? I was like, I believe it. I always believe I cannot experience happiness if I have not experienced sadness.
Yep.
I don't understand joy if not for like hurt or something, right? So I believe that I as a human need to experience both ends of the spectrum in order to understand both light and darkness. And like example, Smiling Afro, right? How I came out of it is because I wanted to make people smile. I wanted to do what I can in my life, career, whatever, to make people laugh or have a good time. So that I feel is my purpose. So therefore the Smiling Afro. But behind the scenes, I'm experiencing like human emotions, right? That's being hurt or being sad, being affected by things. But I always will find my way back.
Yes.
Of like, okay, so I experience it, but hey, I also want to experience joy, right? And then I bring that into my content.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you would always reframe? Like when you get something negative, do you let it process?
Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe ever since I started calling myself the Smiling Afro, this was my more like 14 years ago. And also background in religion, background in like life, family upbringing that made me see a lot of like negativity. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, most things can be seen in the positive light first, unless proven otherwise. For me, So I do like I've never actually rarely used the phrase, but I like what you say, reframe. Yeah. So I realized that. That's what I've been doing actually. I come in and I'm like, okay, before I get upset or before I get angry, first let me reframe and see what is learn a positive side, right? Yeah.
Right. And so you said 14 years you've been using this brand Smiling Afro.
Yep.
I'm just really curious, in this 14 years, has there been a moment where you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to be Smiling Afro anymore?
Wow.
Because of the brand, right? It feels like I would feel like, oh, I have to be always on. I have to be always be the smiling person and bringing joy. But, we know that's not the case, right? In life, there's always ups and downs. And, sometimes we're just like, we're so done with smiling. We're so done with being positive. Has that moment occurred to you?
Great question. Oh, no. Not yet.
Not yet. That's good.
Because I think when I started it, on the weird thing, when I started, calling myself the Smiling Afro as a nickname, right? I never had in mind to like, okay, I'm going to always be in this mode. It was always just Ben. Ben who's just, going through life and then he goes through the emotions and goes through the phases. But Smiling Afro is the nickname tag to him, or tag to me, but not like, I activate into Smiling Afro. Yeah, which I understand. A lot of people see me online, they think it's a persona. They actually think Smiling Afro is, Ben had to become the Smiling Afro. But no, it's actually just Ben. It's a nickname. Like, the Flying Dutchman, right? He doesn't become a Flying Dutchman.
Yes. He doesn't fly. He doesn't fly.
But he has Dutch, and then, so he just like the Smiling Afro, it's just a nickname. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and what about you? Like, do you feel that you have to be someone else sometimes when you come out of the house, let's say, in your workplace or whatever?
I feel like, people know that I'm openly gay, right? I'm, out, I'm married to my husband and all of that. But I feel that it really depends on where I'm going, what kind of environment I know that I'll be. If I go a little bit deeper into this question, I think sometimes I still do feel like I have to become a different person in certain spaces where I feel like, okay, I need to, not show myself too much.
I see.
And I guess kind of growing up, like when I was in school, I knew I was different from other people, but I couldn't really find a vocabulary of like, what am I? Who am I? And there's a lot of like playing pretend.
Right.
And then, so much. This is a funny story, but recently it's Halloween, and everyone's like, "Oh, are you dressing up for Halloween?" And I was, I was chatting with some of my friends in my community. They're like, "Oh, why are we dressing up for Halloween? Like all our lives, we are like pretending to be straight. All our lives, we're pretending to be something else. Like, why do we need Halloween to play pretend?" And I was like, that struck me because
that's deep.
It is actually true because even now, coming out as openly proud gay
Yes.
person, there are still situations, for example, if I go into a work conference, for example, or I go in to see a new sports club, for example. Like these people don't know who I am, right? And then that will always be at a crossroad of like, do I want to, be my authentic self? Or do I want to kind of, act as someone else?
It's always that question you face. Like,
Yeah.
like you ask, okay, so
like,
yeah.
who do I want
Right.
to be, in this type of situation? So I feel like I feel like actually I do still feel a bit of that, of not being able to be my true authentic
Right.
self at all the environments, all the spaces that I'm in. So yeah, to that question, I do feel that there's a bit of that.
Gosh, yeah, which makes me also reflect about myself sometimes. I think maybe I do sometimes also. Like depending on the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like how much I want to be myself. It's just saying just myself as Ben, as my authentic self.
Yeah.
In the room, or do I hold back because I just don't want to show so much of my true self because I don't trust these people, for example.
Yes. And I think it's okay, it's fair to say, right? Because we all have, as human beings, we all have different side of us. We have the vulnerable side of us that wants to talk about feelings.
Yes.
Then there's like the side of us that wants to entertain the room and want to be the person to like bring joy. There's just different side of us.
Yes.
And then I'm sure you can feel this with different group of friends. You will show up in different ways.
Tell me about it.
Because your friends, some of them are, very good at talking about feelings, and some of them are like, they just want to have fun, they just want to chill. Don't bring your serious stuff to the table. So you kind of read the room, and you're like, okay, I will show up differently, right?
Yeah, which I've actually reflected my alone many times about this. Like sometimes lying down and be like, wow. Actually, how many different versions of myself are there? Because I'm a different person from my parents, from my relatives.
Yes.
And then cousins is a bit nearer to my age, right? So it's more myself to them. But then different group of friends, like you said, like how I'll be with my church friends is very different from my school friends or my party friends.
Yeah.
Or my work friends. So sometimes like, wait, so where is the real band, the main base?
Yes.
Yeah,
so I'm
the
curious.
base, right?
Who is the where is this? Like, let's say if you have a pie chart,
right? Yes,
right. All of that, right?
Yeah.
Which one would you say take up the most percentage? Or like, how would you describe yourself?
Okay, great. Honestly, I just want to be honest with feelings. Like the real Ben, you just want to sit down, be honest with my feelings, and also be very sarcastic and joke around so much about it, about life. Like, this is really the pure me.
Yeah.
It's just I just want to talk about things and laugh about things while talking about honest emotions.
Honest emotions.
Yeah, honest emotions and having a good laugh. Like, yeah. And I guess that's my base.
Yeah.
But then when I go on to different groups, it's very, okay, my parents, I can't joke so much because they're a little bit, can't talk about that, can't talk about this. And then, okay, these church friends, church friends, right? So,
yeah.
And then, but I guess, my party friends, yes, I can go all out and have fun. But then when I'm missing a part of the real feelings, emotions.
You want to talk about feelings.
Yeah, like I want to add that in. Like, how do we really feel about this? And, don't talk about this. Like, no.
Do you feel like you're someone who is very intact with your deep emotions?
Yeah.
And you want to have that platform and that chance to like talk to friends more about that.
Yes.
But you feel like you're lacking that in some of those friendships?
Yeah, I think many friendships. I'm so glad and blessed that I have friendships that I can basically tend to almost every emotion. Sadness, happiness, disappointment, whatever. But there's most of them which is like, it's like just
either they're too serious
a bit,
or they just want to have fun.
Yeah. So quite surface lah.
Yeah.
Quite surface, right? Yeah. And I mean, like, although I say I'm so attached to every emotion, right? I guess. But how about you actually? How about you in terms of like, how in touch are you with every emotion? Or like,
I think I'm very so I'm someone who's very confrontational.
Okay. Okay.
And not confrontational with humans only, but also I think confrontational with myself.
Yeah.
So I think that has kind of helped me confront all the emotions that I have.
Right.
Whether is it the positive ones, also the negative ones.
Right.
So I think I am actually quite intact with my
Nice.
inner emotions. And I think like you, I like to, if I can think of a word, like I really like those type of, my ideal gathering with friends would be, let's sit down, have coffee or tea, or maybe sometimes over wine, and like have a heart-to-heart session.
Oh, that's the best. I love
You know,
it.
like just
I
really
love it. I
chill.
feel
Like
it already. Yeah,
we don't need the rah-rah or like the party.
Yeah.
I mean, those are good. Don't get me wrong. Like those are fun times as well. But I also like intimate sessions, like one-on-one.
Yeah, same.
A small group of friends.
Yes.
You know, just talk about life. You just talk about like how we are as
Yep.
human beings, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes, you know, all these gatherings that I have with friends, they are kind of like a template. You talk about their kids, or like for example, like their dogs, their cats,
Yeah.
or like where's the next travel plan,
Yeah.
you know, how's work,
Yeah.
very on the surface,
Yeah.
and rarely I think we have chance to like really sit down with friends and talk about like, hey, how are you actually feeling?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like aside from all the kids and all the dogs, all the travel plans, like, how are you as a person, like doing that self check-in, right?
Yeah.
And I really find that it's hard to have that type of conversation with people. You know, like because we're also busy. You know, we rarely actually stop, pause, and think about how we feel. But I do that with my therapist as well. You know, like if I come to it with my friends, I pay and then do it with a therapist.
So yeah, but what makes it difficult for you then to have that moment with your friends? If you say you know, like because you need to look for a therapist, right? But then like, have you tried or like you know?
I think just more like around. I think it ties back to how I grew up, right? Because I grew up in a family where my parents are not, you know, like a lot of Asian parents, you don't really talk about feelings, how you feel.
Yeah, what is feeling?
I think I actually do remember like snippets of these memories when I was growing up, that I will feel a lot of emotions, and then I'll bring these emotions to my parents and I tell them that, hey, I'm not feeling okay. And then what I received is it's gonna be fine. Or like very passing statements. It's gonna be fine. Or they'll say things like, "Oh, be a man, right? Don't cry. Grow up. Like, you know, snap out of it." Kind of, you know. Like, and then I think the more I do it, and the more I kind of receive that kind of comment, I do feel a bit like, okay, maybe it's true. Maybe I need to grow up. Maybe I guess that's also where my reframing came about, where I kind of hone this skill of like every time I, you know, have something difficult, I'll be like, okay, I'll not look for help because I will not get help.
Oh, okay.
So I have to like process it on my own, and I have to do things on my own. So I think it became, you know, it kind of made me into this person of like, okay, every time when I'm in the down period, I will not look for my friends, because I was like, oh, I don't think they can help. But there's a lot of things that close my mind. I don't think they can help.
I see. Yeah.
If I tell them, what if they, you know, I have a bit of fear of rejection of the, you
what
got
if
your
they
parents
just
and then they say, grow up, like it's okay, it's gonna be fine. Or I also think that another thought process is that they might not be able to catch me. You know, so like you tell someone this like very heavy, very emotional, very vulnerable situation,
They don't
and then
understand.
they look at you, you're just like, what do you want me to say? Like, you know, and then I was like, oh, so I was like, okay, rather than go through all of that, I'll just do it on my own, and I'll just process my own. So I guess tying back to the idea of shadows, I guess that's kind of a part of me that that I don't really showcase a lot. So I think people see me as, okay, Andy is the very strong, independent person, and he will be able to like settle his own shit, right? He'll be able to do it.
Which way enough people also view me as that. Sometimes, of course, my life, they will random people say, hey, you know, man, I realize you something, you look like you don't want help, you know, so we don't want to help you because you look like you got, you know, you're very in touch with your emotions, you can go handle it yourself, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I ironically always say, but no, I want to talk to people. It's just that sometimes I just don't, because you all don't want to hear, or you're just not interested in it.
Yeah.
So then it comes back to, oh, Ben doesn't talk about his emotions, but yo, no, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think that, because I feel like, you know, when you walk into the room, you definitely have a strong presence.
Right.
And if I don't know you, I'll be like, okay, this person has a presence. He knows his thing. He's and also your Instagram and all that, right? Smiling Afro, I was like, okay, you're doing great. But then if I want to be if I want to analyze deeper, I'll be like, hey, every strong person, deep down has something like has this vulnerable state, right? And then, and I know it because I can I know myself, right? Like it's like I can see a mirror like in you. So do you feel like you kind of crave deeper sort of connection? Or maybe sometimes you know, like you want to be taken care of in that sense.
Oh, good. I think because of the way I was raised, I'm the eldest son. So most of my life I had to be the responsible one, look after my siblings, look after my parents, I look after the house. I am the eldest, the firstborn, and then so I felt that my whole life I've just been used to just being the caretaker. That maybe it's sad to say that I'm not used to being looked after. Yeah, but I don't feel the need to be looked after. Like I don't crave it. Yeah, maybe that's the case.
Okay.
But but I like what you said. Like it's true. I think my presence or whatever, everything, it came from pain. It came from me understanding and really experiencing pain through so my mom passed away when I was almost 21 years old. And that was probably the biggest thing that's happened to me as a young boy, right? And it was just, my whole life just came crashing down. And I came out of that hole. And because I think after coming out of that hole, I was a very different person. I saw life so differently, right? Life is so short, it's so precious. I need to go and fulfill my dreams because that's what my mom would want. So I want to become something. I want to do something immediate. I'm just going to do it and stop making excuses. And if any obstacle, just go and fight. And so that eventually led to this, right? Me coming in and I'm very just happy of who I am and confident because I know there's what I went through and so well, maybe this hole I went in that I came out of, right? It was just depression.
Okay.
Right, it was 9 months. Okay, which I always joke with people I was incubating as a new baby and I came out. 9 months, yeah. I think it was just so many things about because I, as the eldest son, I'm my mom's favorite, right? And then she raised me practically. And she taught me almost everything I knew because my dad works overseas.
Yeah.
And then, she basically imparted me so much life skills and wisdom, right? And so, yeah, there's just a lot of dark thoughts, especially the first few months because 3 weeks before my 21st birthday, my mom was like, oh, my eldest son is 21, going to be 21. My firstborn is going to be adult, you know? And she's like, oh, I get to see that. And I was like, cool. And then 5 days later, she just passed, right? And I was like, wait, what? That's all? It just never ends every night. It's oh, my mom is not here. My birthday is coming soon. My mom's gone. And she raised me. And, I had dreams of the whole, just for her to see me in the future. So it was this big hole where I was trying to get off. I think it was the first time in my life that I felt soulless. I still went to school, right? And I went to see my friends, but I was just floating around Earth. I smile, and I just hey, but there's nothing inside. Yeah, and I searched for meaning. And I would say my blessing came from my religious background, where I still had something to fall back on, faith and everything, and to look at life. So I decided to go and search through that, through prayer and meditation and reading. And so, basically after 9 months of constant reflection and going through the pain, I believe that, I need to feel the pain. I cannot run away from it. I need to feel the sadness and the darkness. Because people were trying to tell me to don't fall into the hole, careful, it's dangerous. I'm like, what are you talking about? If I don't fall into the hole, I'll be in constant standing on the edge, trying not to fall off. And I can't live my whole life like that. I can't live my whole life trying not to fall in. So I just went in and climbed out. And so 9 months later, I don't know, just felt like I saw a sign from the heavens. like, hey, your mom is around. I think the big thing that I realized, right, it's a very religious thing, but like how we Christians or Catholics always say, God is there, is an image of you, blah, 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 blah. And so one day I was staring in the mirror in the morning, right? Just no thoughts. I just woke up, brushed teeth. I looked at the mirror, I realized that, hey, I'm an image of my mother because I came from her and my dad, right? So I'm my mom's image. So she is still here through me. And technically, it's my responsibility to carry out my mom's love. And so that was like a moment, It's like,
yeah.
Then I also linked it back to religion, right? Like Christianity, when you say, hey, image of God, everything. It's like, it's kind of the same. Like, so I'm an image of my mom, right? And so that's the faith I have that she's still here. And then, and so that's when I came out of that hole.
Thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah.
I was just really curious, like, when you were in that hole and then you were like saying that you need to put yourself through that pain in order for you to come out stronger. Do you felt that when you were in that 9 months, or like was it more of a realization you had after you came out? Yeah, after you came out the hole.
Yeah, because I think it's my first 20 years old, my first real punch in the heart, right? So I was, it was so much happening because everyone was telling me everything's gonna be okay, and then I was like, why are you telling me this? My mom's gone. Your mom's still around. Why you don't tell me everything's going to be okay? You don't understand what I'm going through. So there's a lot of anger. So everyone's telling me, you'll be fine, man. I say, stop telling me you'll be fine. And the biggest one, which I didn't like, which I hated actually, when people say, hey, everything happens for a reason. I was like, I don't need to hear that now. I don't need to hear that now. Oh, your mom died for a reason. Yeah, the reason is the aneurysm.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Yeah. And funny enough, because of that, what I went through, I've never used that phrase in my life since then. I never tell someone, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. To me, it's so...
Such a passing statement. Yeah.
It's true. Everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
If we talk about physics,
Yes.
But that's not the solution, right?
Yeah.
So that's my so-called, journey of, my background of vulnerability and then therefore leading to this strength. And like you mentioned, right, like from like you can see that, and because you also, I feel also when I first met you, I feel that you also have presence. Yeah. Like, just now you say, it's confrontational and you cannot see it here, but he's a big guy and he's muscular. So it's quite scary. So it can be scary. Yeah. But I can still sense you also have presence, right? Yeah. And I can see that. And so, is there any darkness that you have experienced like me or something?
I feel like your story kind of resonated in some ways, especially when you talked about pain, and how that, you came out of that whole feeling a bit different, more like a changed person, and you see things from a different perspective. I feel like I experienced that a lot when I was young. Of course, like being gay, afraid to come out, like all that struggles. I was bullied in school for being different. So I think that has kind of shaped me a lot as a person. Kind of, like through my formative years, I experienced I experienced a bit of that bullying when I was like 13, 14 in school. Like school is supposed to be a safe space, but it's actually a place that I fear going because you'll be called names and people will be like spotlighting you in negative ways. And those are dark times in my life. I would say, like, if I talk to my therapist, I talk to my friends, I talk about my childhood. My secondary school period will always be that period where I left out a lot, because I feel like a lot of that memory I've consciously blocked out. And I consciously try to not remember it.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Yeah.
And there was a lot of, I think the darkest moment is, like when I felt like I couldn't really find a safe space back at home because I couldn't really tell my parents about who I am and like really verbalize those feelings. And when I go to school, I was being bullied, right? So I was like, oh, where should I go? Maybe I shouldn't exist in this world. Maybe I should just disappear. So I guess that's kind of like I was having like suicidal thoughts when I was, at that age lah. So I can't remember how long that lasted, honestly. And when I actually felt that I can really be myself. I think like but I did remember feeling super happy after O levels. I was like, oh my god, I can get out. I can finally get out of this school.
Wow.
But then there's also the fear of like, going to poly and be like, oh, will I be accepted there?
Right.
Because I'm just not confident with this type of spaces where you have like people from different backgrounds. And would they fully embrace me? So I really couldn't remember when I actually felt okay by being myself, right? And I think because of that, as a human being, it's always like a fight or flight, right? And I think I'm always in this like fight mode.
Nice.
Like that's why I think the whole confrontational self-develop, which is I need to be independent. I need to I know I can't rely on anyone. I need to sort of build up a strong presence. And also help with the height, right? With being tall, it actually did help of like being seen strong on the outside. I guess that's kind of my defense mechanism.
I see.
Yeah, so I think just, I really feel like, I really believe that what you experience as a young kid would shape you, to become who you are today.
Yeah.
And also I was picking up on what I'm hearing from your story, and it seems to me like you are a giver. You're someone who enjoys giving and who enjoys taking care of people, right? Just because you're the eldest son, and also like what you do on social media is a lot of bringing joy to people, like caring for people. And I'm really curious, how do you develop that? Like, what did you feel like was in your childhood that made you become this person who loves to give?
I think I also got it from my mom. So my mom was a giver. Right? She always told me that in her childhood she was very poor. My grandfather passed away when my mom was 15, so she had to leave school to go and work. So at a very young age, right, she already learned to stop making excuses. That life is, she just needs to go and deal with it lah. Right, so she fought her way out of poverty and everything, and then she stopped making excuses. And so I think that she imparted on me when she was raising me. She was like, hey, you gotta look after yourself and you look after others. No one's gonna look after you, okay, because life is brutal. So she always tell me, if you think that way already, then you can't be really affected by small things, everything, like, and then she always said to me, even before she passed, she always said to me, I think because of my grandfather passing away when she was so young, she always like had this, life can go anytime. So when I turned 18, she always reminded me, hey, the elder son, mom and dad won't be here forever. If anything happens, you need to look after your siblings because they're young. You need to hold this house together because your dad works overseas. If I'm not here, how? You need to hold the family together. And I was a young kid, I'm like, don't talk to me about this thing, you dark stuff, I don't like it, right? So, but when she passed, it kind of hit in a weird way. I was staying there, the mortuary, right, everything. And it's just all the things like, oh wait, my mom told me, hey, this can happen, and now I need to wake up, and my siblings are grieving. My dad is rushing back from Thailand. I need to go and hold the house together. So I had to, and that kind of like just pushed
do you
on.
feel like that was
stopped
a turning point?
I think already I was, a little bit more I guess, with my group of friends going out in poly, whatever, I'm always the one organizing the events, always like, okay, making sure everyone's okay. Oh, there's someone left out. No, we are inviting him. Or no, that person is quiet.
Okay.
No one knows him. No, we're going to invite him. We're going to make sure he comes to the party and we're friends. Yeah, I think there's a bit of that already. They're looking after, but I think the solidifying moment was during the whole year, I guess, of my first pass.
And I kind of want to dive deeper into like when you said you were in the hole, and of course after 9 months you came out of that hole. What do you felt like changed the most? Like you as a person, the way you see things.
Well, so I think definitely I matured a lot in terms of like everything in terms of relationships and even life, right? Like when troubles come along or when difficulties come, I'm like, okay. First thing I say is, how am I going to solve this? Instead of like, oh my gosh, why is life happening to me? Which I think I was younger. Every time something bad happens, like,
so you were more emotional.
Yeah,
and then you became quite logical.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still emotional, right?
Okay.
But yet, like, I learned to logically react first, I feel. Like instead of like getting angry or getting sad straight away, like, oh, why you do this? It's more like, okay, let us sit down and realize this first. And then once we know, okay, the solution, then maybe emotion come in. Okay, that's it, everything done. Hey, why you do this?
Okay.
But hey, we know the solution here instead of just like going nuts and then closing up for 3-4 days and then like no solution. Yeah, in terms of how I view life. And I think that's also why it gave me the confidence to start my business, this like the content creation thing, because I'm like, right now, there's challenges. Now we face it together. Let's go. Yeah.
Interesting. And I was thinking, like, is there any side of you that you don't typically show it to people? Like only your closest friends would see of you. Is there a side that you kind of hide?
I guess only the closest friends will see me cry lah. Yeah. Especially like I think every once in a while I will find this time or space to go and just cry it out. Like basically like memories of mom or whatever. Yeah, actually it's almost always just 90% mom, right? I don't really cry about life anymore. Like, I think younger I'll cry about life. Oh, why am I here? Why is this? Why this person don't want me? Why I cannot get into this school? All this I don't. But it's more of like just mom, missing mom. Yeah. And only very few friends will get like I'm open to, because I know that they also like, okay, we need time together. Okay, we have a bed. Yeah. But not a lot of people really see that side, I guess. Yeah, because to me, I want that space, a personal space with someone. Yeah. Yeah. How about you? Is there a side of Andee that, I guess besides your husband, of course, right? Like, or like.
To be fair, I also don't really show him some of those those sides. That's interesting. I feel like a side of me that I kind of not say I don't know. Okay, honestly, I don't know whether is it intentional or subconsciously. But I do. People don't really see the weaker side of me.
Right. Got it.
I am quite emotional, but at the same time, I'm quite like, how do I say? I just want to, I'm also like a problem solver. So when there's a problem, right, negative situation, the first thing I do is reframe, reframe, and make it positive.
Yes.
And then try to digest it on my own, and then solve things, right, and then move on. Okay. So I think that's kind of the process. So people rarely, I'll rarely be in a room where I'll be with friends and be like, oh, guys, I'm going to tell you this problem that I have. And then, it becomes like a offloading session. It rarely happens.
Right.
Because I told you in previously, so I don't really feel like they will be able to catch me. I'm not sure because I've not tried enough. And I also don't want to bother people with like negative problems. And also because I don't know, I tend to always be the listener to my friends. Like my friends will come to me with their problems.
Wow.
And then they'll tell me the problems, I'll listen, ask some questions, and they walk away. They walk away feeling very fulfilled that they told me their problems.
Nice.
So I think I've built this relationship with a lot of my friends, that they are the one that comes with me with the problems, and rarely it's me going to them with the problems, right? I think there will only be like one or two people in my life that I would go to them with problems.
Right, fair.
They are usually a bit older, a bit more older than me. So I think that's a part of me that I not say hide, but people just don't see enough. Yeah.
Wow,
and even with my husband, I think that sometimes he's more like a humorous person. He's like very, he brings me joy and all that. But sometimes when I talk to him about like problems, he's also like a problem solver.
Right.
So, he doesn't let me process my emotions. He's just like, let's just sit down and solve this problem. I'm like, maybe that's not what I want. I just want you to like listen to my problems.
Yes, I do get it.
And feel me,
Yes.
So yeah, I tend to have only a few people, like not even my husband sometimes.
Just now you mentioned I think just like me, right? We're quite in touch of our emotions, right? And like I think for people like us, that's the different kind of problems or different kind of like challenges we face, like because we're so in touch with emotions that we actually really choosy even with showing it because we're so in touch with it, we just know.
Yes.
Right. So even just with different people, everything, we just kind of like no. But some people they'll just go all out, right? They'll come in and just, I'm just be full emotional, everything. But no, because we constantly have to choose. I feel because we kind of like.
But sometimes I feel like because of this character, I feel like I get misunderstood.
Same.
Because people be like, like you're fine, like you're fine, and sometimes when I have this like fight with my husband around like I think that he should care more for me, I get into this very negative state of mind, which I will be like, okay, I'm always caring for everyone. Like, what about me? That's when I feel very unhealthy, right? I'll be like, okay, I'm always a giver. I'm always like caring for people. But what about my feelings? I get very angry around that.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, maybe it's not on them. Maybe it's on me because for the longest time, they are so used to me being the strong person. They're so used to me being there for them. So it's like a muscle. It's like a language that they don't understand. Of like, how you mean you need help? Like that kind of situation. And I just wonder, right, like, should I reach out more? Should I help my friends and help my loved ones develop this muscle that Andee needs help sometimes. Andee needs the care sometimes too. So instead of me always being this cheerful person or always like getting things together, knowing what I want, because I feel like that's the brand that I've built for myself.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
I feel a little bit similar. Ironically, right? Like as a giver, right? I look after my friends, everything. I'm always there for them. I'm like making sure everything's okay. But sometimes I just wish that the closer ones would come and let me like, is there anything I can do for you? Because I get it, like they're so used to it. Like, oh, Ben is he'll do this. He's the one to make sure. Just leave it to Ben. There's, thanks Ben. But there's no like, hey Ben, so how are you? Can I help you with something?
Initiative to ask you how you are.
Do you want to talk about anything? It's as simple as that, right? Do you want to talk about anything? I'm here for you. Like, and sometimes you get to me like, do they care or not? Just everything I just do it, they just take advantage, do they care? And like, then sometimes they say the thoughts come. Then what about me? Then I should just, maybe I just don't care sometimes. Yeah. I just don't care. I just care. Yeah. I'm like, let them go and solve the problem and learn. Yeah, it's
there's this very silly moment that I just recall is there's this not so close friend that I have. And then one day we were just catching up and I asked her like, hey, how's life and how's everything? Then she's like, oh, you know what, Andy, today I don't want to talk about me. Let's talk about you. I don't know where that came from. She was like, let's talk about you. How are you feeling? And then I was like, oh, you know, the usual passing about, oh, I'm fine, very busy, that kind. And she's like, no, wait, how are you actually feeling? Like, how are you? And then I just paused for a moment. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I haven't been asked that question in such a, like, you know, calm and serious mode. And it took me by surprise. And I'm not very close with her. Like, we're not the kind of like friends who will meet up every month. And it's just a very random catch up. And I didn't know where that was coming from. So it made me pause. It made me pause, and I was like, actually, I feel like, you know, at that moment I felt, oh, thanks for asking. Like, it's such a nice moment, and I realized that
I'm
I didn't
not close
really,
to you, but you care.
Yeah, I really that was kind of a moment when I felt like I really needed that.
Right.
Like, you know, I really needed someone to just stop and notice that, oh, maybe I'm going through a hard time in my life. And I think, yeah, to be fair, you know, she said, oh, and then after that I asked, like, what do you all of a sudden, you know, ask me all this, you know, like such questions. And she said, oh, because I realized from your Instagram, you know, you've been posting some, you know, slightly, not negative, but slightly down stuff. And then she can feel the energy is different. So she asked me the question. I was like, oh, thanks for noticing. And then, you know, there was a moment I felt like I actually really appreciate when people just, you know, slow down and look beyond what they see on social media.
You just reminded me, what I just said about just wanting my friends, right? But I do have people who I'm not close to, random people, really not close to, who just ask me, no, my Ben. No, really, how are you? No, really, how are you? I know you sometimes go through things. I just want to know that side of you. And they're not close to me. So the thing is, I'm in a very weird position because I'm like, oh, that's very sweet of you. I appreciate you asking. I would love my closer friends to ask me because I'm not close enough with you that I want to share really how I am, because it's not something I'll just go impart into any random person. Because I rather like close friend, I say, how are you really, Ben? This is how I'm feeling. Because I know they remember and we'll be in the same circles, and you know, there's something meaningful there. Yeah, so it's that very weird position. How come you? I don't know you why you ask me stuff so deep.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have trust issues? Like, do you feel like you're very like, you know, you draw sort of a barrier?
I do have is it, I don't know why I say trust issues lah, but I know my boundaries, I guess, like of who I should really trust or not. Yeah.
You're very careful.
Careful. Yeah. Like I think just since I started my business, once I get into the corporate world, right, and then money is involved, earning money, and then that's when, wow, you see people change. I saw people change. The way they talk to me, some of the people, right, I'm like, okay, now there is another layer on me, right, as a business guy, blah, 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 content creation, all that people want. And then so I just need to be careful. Yeah. But I do miss those days where before my business where I can just be free. Yeah. How about you? Do you have trust issues? I mean, still because of the challenges you face growing up.
I would like to say that I have trust issues. I'm very guarded, but at the same time, if I think about it, I'm very open to sharing vulnerable and deep stuff.
Yeah. What does it take then, like say, to gain your full trust, or just trust, like the bare minimum trust?
For me, I think I'm a very I believe in energy exchange. Like, I'm an energy person.
Same.
So I could have very deep conversations with strangers, like people I meet for the first time. If I feel like the energy is right.
Yeah.
I don't need to know you as a person or like what you do in your day job, like whether you're a spy or anything. But as long as like, the energy is right, then I will kind of feel like, you know, you're in my circle.
Nice.
You know, and then you know, it's interesting because I recently read up about cats, like about cats' behavior. And I feel like I'm quite similar with cats, which is like you feel the energy of the person. You know whether they are like out to harm you, whether they have like ill intentions. If not, then you kind of sniff them, you kind of observe a bit. I was like, okay, I can trust this person. And I would say that usually I'm quite a guarded person. I might people might think that I'm an extrovert.
Right.
You know, people might have the impression that when I go to a party, I'm the person who's like, oh, bring everyone together. But usually I'm the kind of person when I go to the party, I am more of an observer. So I will stand a bit by the side. I will, have a glass of, water or something like that. And then I'll just observe the room, read the room. And then, get the energy and kind of like observe people.
Same.
Yeah. And then when I feel like, okay, this group feels safe, I can go, gravitate towards this group of people. So I think it's the same as in any of my relationship, friendship, and all of that. Because what I do at work is like a lot of events, I bring people together, but I'm usually I usually don't open up to everyone. I think there's like different levels of trust. But energy is a very important thing to me.
I really feel that we can understand each other, man, because it's exactly the same, right? If you talk about, for me, to how much does it take for me to trust somebody, and then I think the good base is that when you first meet somebody new, right? Same. When I meet new people, like whatever setting, friends, home, outside, blah, 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 I guess we just know. Sometimes when it just clicks, it clicks, right? You meet someone new and you can just hit it off. And somehow you can just, especially I think now in my 30s, right? I just kind of seen a lot of different people in my life already. And when you meet someone new, you just kind of picked up, okay, this kind of person, after his reactions and the way they act, you just know what kind of person they might be.
Yeah.
But then once you can bounce off, and then I'm like, oh, I can somehow trust this person enough to, like, even half an hour later, I can be sharing personal feelings or like, I'm a bit upset over there, blah, 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 or what I feel about certain things. Because I know that person will understand somehow.
Yeah.
It's all the energy.
Yeah.
As opposed to meeting somebody with bad energy on the get-go, after 10 minutes, I'm like, go to another group of friends.
Yeah. And I think it's also the exchange for me. If this person is willing to, like, peel off their mask and like tell you who they are as a person. If I'm able to kind of like in a short period of time know this person besides their besides what's their job title and all that kind of like facade, then I'll be like, oh, I can do the same. It's like an exchange, right? So
it's like when you feel that when you ask them questions, they're very happy to, like, oh, this is who I am as a person, right? And you're like, oh, okay, this person,
but I would say most people are quite guarded.
Yeah, I guess maybe
most people are quite surfaced.
I think it's also an Asian thing, right? Sometimes, like
or maybe they're just not. They don't really know themselves.
True.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like some people who don't really know themselves. To share, it's not like they don't want to share deep feelings. They haven't even examined themselves enough to.
Yeah, it's like if they were really honest to, like, I would like to share with you, but I really don't know who I am.
Yeah, actually, I do have a lot of friends who are like that, who like, I can't really talk to them about deep feelings, also because they don't really get there.
Yeah. And back to even the first part of the conversation, right? We're talking about some of our friends that we cannot share feelings to because they don't want to share.
Yeah.
And then actually, when I look back, if I really were to ask them really about a feeling, they will maybe say, no, I really don't know because I don't know how to process. Oh my God, I haven't been able to process properly all my feelings.
Yeah, they always like, Andy, why you so emo? Like, if I try to like go there, that direction, they're like, oh, why is this so serious? Why is this such a downer? Why is that? Because talking about feelings does have this like negative connotation to a lot of people. They feel like this is a gray area to go to.
Emotional person. Yeah, not in control, which I always argue, no? I choose to feel my emotions. I'm in control. Right? Not pushing away.
Yeah. Then to the question, since you talk about all the other people's, but kind of coming back to yourself, how do you, get to a point of knowing who you are as a person? Like, what sort of work have you done around that? Knowing who Ben really is deep down.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the moment. Right, I think just a combination of life experiences. But and also like probably around the moment where I decided this is what I want to do for my career, when I first started studying filmmaking, right? And you know, it's the idea of wanting to be in filmmaking was a combination of like I love storytelling, I loved acting, and then when I found film as a medium to share stories that possibly can teach people things and make people laugh, it's like, okay, no, this is what I want to do in my life. And then came the point of like, but so what? Who am I then? Because it will reflect upon the content I create. Right. So I had to, who am I? I look back at my whole life. Like, I mean, I think I made this decision when I was like probably 23 years old. And I look back at my life, what have I done as a person? And the things I've been through and emotions I felt. And I just decided, like, I think I just maybe I don't know whether it was a day or a period of time where I decided, no, this is who I am. This is the emotions I'm very in tune with. This is my characteristics. And this is just who I want to be. And I'm just going to work on this traits I have. As opposed to run away from them. Yeah. I mean, I felt it was a very, very personal journey. And coupled with things that I don't wish upon anyone, you know, like pain and everything. I really don't wish that upon anyone. But I cannot escape the fact that did shape me to be who I am today in terms of, you know, this version of like being in touch emotionally. Yeah.
So I guess after talking to you, I kind of form a bit of different impression from what I'm seeing on social media, which I think is a good thing. I get to know a little bit more about
Thank
you
goodness.
as a person today. But then, you know, when you say you're doing all this personal work and you are thinking of who you want to become, do you feel like that version that you have in mind, you have already achieved that? Or do you think like, you know, what is that version that you want to become?
Wow.
And how far are you away from
You know
from
what?
that version?
You know when I know I achieved it was when I think maybe this was 4 years ago, where someone who I barely knew, is just a fan, and bumped into me on the street. And then somehow we were in the same restaurant and we were sitting nearby each other. And before we left, the person just told me, like, hey, you know, I really look up to you because I can see from your content that you're genuine. And I know you want to make people laugh. And I know there's this honest person behind there going through your own things, but yet you want to share. And, you know, I thank you for that. For being this genuine person yourself, to just, you know, try to spread this to others. And I was like, it hit me like, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
But that was what I was really channeling. And for you to randomly tell me, and I don't know you, you know, and there's so much you can't see in my content because I don't, so much personal things behind, right? But yeah, you just somehow feel that you can see it. Boom, it really hit me that, you know what I set out for, it's showing something. It's people notice and it's very reassuring.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then to me, it's like that gave me the, you know, the juice and strength. Like, you know, continue to work for it. Yeah.
Nice. Do you go for therapy session? Do you do therapy?
I had a therapist, but it's my aunt.
Okay.
It's like family. Yeah, she lives with me. She passed away recently, but she lived with me for 13 years since my mom passed, and she was my therapist. Like, I'll come down and like, I'm going through, and I just need to rant. And I need to hear your opinion, and I also need you to say the hard truth sometimes. You know, it's when you tell me. Because I know it, but you just need to tell me.
Someone to kind of hit you in the head.
Yeah. So I know it, and I know it, but it's in my head, and I'm lying to myself. But you just tell me the hard truths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, like I do a lot of therapy work on myself because to the same time I'm very confrontational. I know like, hey, I'm not feeling my best. I'm not really being my whole self. I need to, I need an honest opinion. Like I need a neutral person, someone that I don't know, someone that has no interest in how my life goes, but just, you know, really helping me figure things out. So I do a lot of work around like therapy. I think it is. I think a lot of people have very mixed opinion about going for therapy because there's still a lot of stigma around mental health
sometimes, right? Yeah,
especially, you know, this how the society thinks a man should be like. But yeah, I think that has been really helpful. Like, you know, getting in touch with my deepest emotions. A lot of things that I've also shared with you today. And I think just constantly kind of like talking talking about things and
Yeah.
finding the right people
Yeah.
to talk about emotions. What is your biggest takeaway from our conversation today?
Well, honestly, it goes back to shadow. Like now, you know, chatting with you and reflecting again on my whole life that brought me here today. I'll say that, you know, all this darkness I experience and all the pain and everything is following me still because it's part of me, and it's my shadow lah. It's my shadow. It's like the shadow of me behind that people don't see, but it is me ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's something that really hit me, and probably tonight it hit me again when I'm lying down.
Well, I'm glad that we had a quite honest
Yes, thanks for sharing.
conversation.
Yeah.
I know, like, you know, we just met, you know.
Yes.
I kind of know you a little bit, but I don't really know you, or you don't really know me. And, you know, we're sitting down. I think the first few minutes was like, we're still kind of like, what we're doing, a bit of like, you know, sniffing each other out, like, whether we want to share deep or not. But I think we had quite a, at least for me, I felt like I walked away knowing more about you as a person, you know, behind Smiling Afro, like who Ben is as a person. I guess I wouldn't say I know a lot about you now, but I guess there's I kind of know a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think that's the interesting part of this whole conversation.
Yes.
Is that there's always a facade that we want people to see, or maybe subconsciously, you know, there's always the side of like what people see might not be who you really are, but it's perfectly normal. But I think it's you know, the idea of there is so much more to a person, and there's also different side to a person, and I think what is important is that we continuously talk about our feelings with our trusted friends, or, you know, people around us, and just keep those conversations going.
And then, like you said, I think, you know, from the get-go, many things we shared, I felt that we kind of understand each other. 'Cause a lot
I
of
think we're
different
quite
things.
similar. I feel like we're quite
I feel quite similar. Even
people.
believe of energy and even everything. And I'm like, okay, he understands me. It's like, it's nice to find someone who actually really understands. Like,
I'll give you my number later.
So I'm glad I had this chat with you. Like, really nice to I'm very happy and share. Thanks for sharing. You know,
thanks for sharing too.
I actually have so much more questions. I really want to learn more about your journey.
Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
All right. So thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Clean Your Toilet podcast. Your transformation starts with inner work. So remember to take the first step now to clean your toilet.